Welcome to YouTube Community News, where I keep content creators like you up to date with everything that happens on YouTube that impacts you as a content creator. Today, we have a pretty big update that is going to negatively impact some channels based on the type of content that they're putting out. This is going to impact, some ASMR channels. It's going to impact some massage channels. It's going to impact some food channels. It's going to impact some gaming channels, things like that. So you got to make sure that you stick around for that particular update. I just wanted to make sure that I make that clear as we get into this, because this is a pretty important one. So we're going to actually talk about that one once we get to it here in just a minute. But in addition to that, we've got some updates coming for educational content creators. I've got some more stuff for you related to YouTube Shorts and more YouTube community news. So if you're a YouTuber, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. So the very first thing that we are going to talk about today is that YouTube is introducing a new player for educational content. So what that means is that this particular quote that they put out says, to improve the YouTube experience in educational environments, we're launching a YouTube player for education, a new YouTube embedded player that shows content on commonly used education apps without distractions like ads, external links, or recommendations. So in some cases, this can be a win. In other cases, this isn't that great. Of course, if it ends up being an opt-in thing, then this will be fantastic for people that are uploading educational content like universities, things like that, where they don't care about ad revenue and those sorts of things. But in addition to this particular update, another thing that they're also doing, and this is going to be available for everyone, is they are also going to be rolling out quizzes for the community tab as well. So if you make any type of content and you want to quiz your viewers on anything, you'll be able to do that in the future. It's going to be rolling out on beta soon, but everybody is going to have access to the quiz feature in 2023. So make sure that you are on YouTube for that one. And then also, this one's a huge update as well for anybody that does any type of educational content, or really for anybody that wants to put together any type of course material for YouTube or for your audience. YouTube is also introducing as an additional monetization option where you are going to be able to offer individual paid videos and full-blown courses through playlists on your YouTube channel. So in order for your viewers to get access to those, this is completely different than the YouTube memberships. In order to get access to the courses, then people are going to have to buy the videos a la carte, or they're going to have to actually buy access to that playlist. So this is a really cool feature for people that their content is appropriate for, that type of thing. Now, the next thing that we have on our list today is related to YouTube Shorts, because they're constantly updating that. So this one isn't a huge update to YouTube Shorts, but I do want to let you know, if you are uploading YouTube Shorts, there are best practices you need to follow. And of course, as part of uploading YouTube Shorts, we need to make sure that we are doing things the way that they are intended, that we're using the features properly and things like that. So because of this, YouTube has just recently published a guide that will help you better understand all aspects of Shorts, how to use them, what's important in terms of keeping people watching, and more things like that. That's going to help you be a better Shorts creator so that you can start getting more views, more activity overall on your YouTube Shorts. I have a direct link to the page where you can get that down in the description. It's a downloadable PDF and it's 100% free. YouTube put it out, but there's a link down in the description. Of course, there's going to be the little title for it above the actual link. And if you click on that page and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see the option to download this particular guide. It's pretty insightful, especially, if you're somebody that is kind of curious about Shorts, or you're somebody that hasn't really went all in on Shorts yet. It really gives some insights into, their perspective on Shorts, and just kind of make sure that you're up to date with some of the features and things like that around YouTube Shorts. Now, the next thing that I want to bring to your attention is some updates to the research tab. So this one comes from the Creator Insiders YouTube channel, is where this particular piece of information came from. And in this update from them, they mentioned that you're going to be able to see videos on the rise around a topic, which is going to be really insightful for us to be able to ensure that we're hopping on trends. So when it comes to coming up with video ideas, we'll be able to use this research feature, which we already have access to. If you go into your analytics on the back end of your YouTube channel, you'll see a tab over on the far right hand side that says research. If you click into that now, you already have access to where you can see what people are searching for around your content. But this is going to show you things that are also on the rise, or videos that are also on the rise around that content, which is pretty awesome. In addition to that, they're also going to give you a gauge of sorts that's going to help you see how interested your audience is in a specific topic. So that's a huge win. And the way that this works out is, let's say that you find out that, a lot of your viewers are interested in, I don't know, jazz music. Then in that case, you could introduce something related to that in your content, maybe just a quick mention, something along those lines. But there's going to be a lot of creative ways to use it. That was a horrible example, but there's going to be a lot of creative ways to use that. And then a big one to this particular feature before we move on to the next one is that they are also going to give us personalized insights on the content that viewers on our channels watch, not just a search topic. So the cool thing about this is it's going to help us in recommendations, because this is going to show us, hey, these are all the other types of, content that your viewers are watching. So we're going to be able to, use that to our advantage. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about here, and this one's, really a big deal. So of course, this applies to some content creators. Others of you, it's not going to apply to, but they just had a update, a policy update, where channels that are doing anything that can be perceived as explicit or perceived as gratifying in an adult way, and I'm being careful with my language here for the sake of the performance of the video that you're watching right now, but basically anything that is provocative, we'll say it that way, when it comes to the nature of your content. So this particular one, so let's say, for example, an ASMR channel, if they are making sounds that people can be excited by, then in that particular case, they are at risk here. In addition to that, if you have a food channel, some people eat food in a provocative way because they find that, people are into that and it brings more views and all of that. Some of those people are also at risk. In addition to that, people that dance in their videos. Some people, they dance in their videos and they dance in provocative ways. And within that content, they also highlight, or I won't say highlight, but let's say they zoom in or focus on certain parts of the body. In that particular case, then they are also at risk for those particular videos, or possibly the entire channel, if the whole channel has that. But basically, anything that can be deemed as gratifying in that particular way. Now, this is going to be interpreted, of course, by somebody, that is going to be reviewing that content as it gets brought to their attention. But this is a pretty big deal. So, for example, in my membership group, I have somebody in there that makes massage content. And some of that, could be seen as provocative, because during a review that we did on his channel, Facebook actually even closed down that particular stream because of, what their AI was seeing and on the actual screen. So you got to be really careful. And one really important part of this is you have to make sure that you're giving the context needed. With everything on YouTube, context is a really big part of it. So you have to make sure that if you are doing something for educational purposes or something like that, that you make it extremely clear that it is for educational purposes. So I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of that, because this is going to, people that aren't aware of that aren't watching this, or that didn't see that policy update, there's going to be some people that will end up, kind of getting thrown under the bus in this situation, for lack of a better way to say it. So I just wanted to, make sure that you guys, everybody that hangs out here, for the news segment, that you are all aware of this. And one more thing that they all actually mentioned in this particular update, excuse me, and I have links to, of course, everything down in the description if you want to explore it further. But another thing that was mentioned in this particular update is, let's say, I'm not sure how many of you here are gamers, but let's say that if you are a gamer, and let's say that you mod some of the games, either, in a way that you should or shouldn't, whichever way that rolls, if you mod your games and some of the visuals in the games end up also being provocative, like let's say, for example, anybody here that plays GTA, that in certain parts of the game, you can roll up to certain people in the game, you can honk, they can get in the car, and, things can happen there. So some of those types of things may also be, along that line of risk. So just be careful out there when you're making content, because, it can, end up blowing up in your face, so to speak, if you're just not being mindful of that. And again, context is everything with all of this. The next thing that I do want to bring to your attention is for those of you that are TubeSpanner users. You hear me talking about TubeSpanner all the time. They've just done a major update to their link in bio. You can see mine right here on the screen. I've actually got a link to it down in the description as well for my link in bio if you want to follow me on other places or whatnot. But basically, this has been designed to bring attention to your YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. So in this particular case, you can see on the screen right now, there's a direct button to subscribe to your YouTube channel. And you can also have a video embed to where you can select a very specific video to put right at the top of your link tree, or you can have it automatically put a video like your most recent upload. And there's actually functionality on the way that's also going to highlight your live stream experience here as well. So as people hit those bio links from, you can bring people in from TikTok and Instagram Reels, everywhere, Twitter, that you can put your bio link. And when they hit this page, they'll have that awareness about your YouTube channel. And in addition to that, just as a heads up, because that's just one feature of TubeSpanner, they also have an upload assistant that helps you, upload your videos more efficiently and has like smart links and things like that. Script writing tools, social sharing tools, all kinds of things to help you with your YouTube channel. So you can make sure you check that out through the link in the description, or just go to tubespanner.com. Doesn't matter to me. I just want you to check it out. In addition to that, those of you that follow Sean Cannell over at Think Media, you know that him and Benji Travis, they have a book called YouTube Secrets. So I want to let everybody know that in addition to the previous book that they put out, they just did a huge update to it because their perspective on all this stuff kind of changed quite a bit during the last 2 years. So because of that, they just put out this update, and I really encourage you to go check it out. There's an audiobook available, and then of course you can also get a paperback version as well. So I encourage you to check that out. Of course, there's a link down in the description for that also. If you are in the Los Angeles area, or you're planning to go to Los Angeles on September 27th to 29th, VidSummit is happening. We're 18 days away. And VidSummit, if you're not familiar, is a conference for YouTube content creators or just video creators in general. And it's a place where creators help creators and experienced creators and creators that are knowledgeable in all of this stuff. They help other creators. So I'm going to be there, giving my presentation and also helping people out, in the hallways and all of that. And there's also going to be a lot of other, really experienced high-level creators that are there that are going to be able to share tons of great information with you about, growing your YouTube channel. So make sure that you check that out as well. And that's the news.